Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. So, there's been a lot of talk about why women aren't in the sciences. Then they've done a little bit of studies, and I believe they have come to a conclusion as to why. So science takes a little bit of intelligence to actually do, right? I'm not. Hold on. I'm not saying men are more intelligent than women, but that's on a different scale. That's a completely different stat that we're talking about. But what I will say is that they have conducted a study and they researched smart people. So they looked at smart women's, which there are only a few. And when I'm talking about smart, I mean really smart. I'm not talking about uh, June Cleaver. I'm talking about really smart, just a brilliant woman. And then they researched the smart men's, which there are considerably more. And the idea that there's far more men who are smarter shouldn't be all of that impressive to you, because there are far more men who are on the other side of the spectrum. So men are smarter and dumber, right, than women. Women tend to congregate right on the at the averages, right? So they found that they tested everything for the smart people. They found that smart men tend to just be smart in whatever it is. So if it's mathematics, they tend just to be smart just in mathematics. Now, here's a little side note. They found that when they were trying to actually calculate how smart men were, these men would just go off the chart. I mean, it'd be just so you and I are like 100, have an IQ of 120, something like that. So these men are like at like 500 in mathematics or something crazy, something absolutely ridiculous. So they don't have women that are absolutely ridiculous. They have women who are smart. When they tested the women, they found that the women weren't just smart in math, they weren't just smart in chemistry, they were also smart in communication, they were also smart in intersocial interactions. So you would find that the smart women had a whole bunch of options. Then we come down to interest. The sociologists then did a study on women and men and the difference in interests, and they found that women simply have different interests than men. Stands to reason, right? Sounds logical. So this is why you don't have a fantastic basketball team for women. Oh, don't give me this WNBA stuff. Nobody wants to watch it, and people who say they do watch it say that they are. It's just not something that you want to watch. I'm not a sports person, so I would not know. So don't come at me, right? Now, you would have different interests between men and women. Sounds logical, right? Well, if that's the case, then these women who are so smart, uh, they then would then be applying their interests. Do they want to sit in a laboratory and do chemistry over and over and over and over and over? Actually, that's a bad example, because they do want to do that. They don't want to sit at a computer and program a computer for hours and hours and hours. Actually, nobody does, but men do it more often than women. Men are tasked and dedicated and put upon by their employers to sit at their computer no matter what and get the program out now. Got to get it out now. So if you have to stay there for 12 hours, which your brain is only really functional for 2 hours, you are gonna sit there for 12 hours. Not that anybody sits there for 12 hours, but you get the drift. So the women have the options, and they're smart in communication. So women go and instead of choosing engineering, they choose communication. They choose social studies. They choose early childhood development. They choose a Bachelor of Arts. They choose a music degree. They choose a English degree. They choose a poetry specialization, get a PhD in poetry. It's what interests them. So all of this talk of we need to get women into blah 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 is just talk. Why? Because of the subjects that actually interest women in the actual STEM fields, women dominate, such as chemistry, biology, medicine, just dominate. Now, it's a funny thing, and the behavior pattern of women translates still even into these scientific fields. So, nursing is dominated by women, but men in nursing make the most money. Why? Because men in nursing actually get advanced degrees and specialize in more lucrative fields than women. For the average woman, she's going to get a 2-year degree in nursing and work part-time as much as she possibly can. And after a while, after she's found a husband, she's going to have a child and quit. Hey, guess what happens when you are the actual surgeon at the hospital and you're a woman? She's going to cut back her hours. She's going to find a husband. She's going to get a child, and she's going to quit. Hey, guess what happens to a woman when she is actually in the pharmacy division? She's going to get a husband. She's going to get a child, and she's going to quit. Quit. Period. It's over. So all 6 years of study that she did to get her master's, undergraduate and master's, all for naught. And it's just because the actual nature of the woman and the behavior and her interests are the way that they are. And there's no amount of legislation that needs to be passed. Hold on. Guess what happens to the female CEOs? To the female business owners? She's going to get married. She's going to cut back her hours. She's going to have a kid, and she's going to quit. And the studies prove it over and over and over and over. So please, for the love of all that is scientific, please stop saying and stop coming at men and saying men are the problem. Men are keeping women out of engineering. Men are keeping women out of math. Men are keeping women out of science. Men are keeping women out of technology. They're not interested, sir, madam. They're not interested. They could care less. Oh, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make robots. Well, good for you, sir. That's great. We need to put women in there too. No, that's not their interest. And you taking taxpayer dollars and passing legislation and setting aside taxpayer dollars even more, enforcing companies to set aside money to make sure, absolutely sure, that they hire women when it doesn't interest them. Yeah, and you have the proof is in the pudding. Why? How's the proof in the pudding when they do all of this stuff? So the company needs to have a diversity program. The company needs to have this and that and the other. And and where they get 2 applicants. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you. You're intelligent. What are the chances? What are the odds that if you put out a flyer that says, "Come apply for our mathematics division, you will make $65,000 a year," and you got 2 applications? Here's the question: what are the odds that those 2 applicants are horrible? The chances are almost like 100%, right? You would need thousands of applicants because people want money and they'll apply for there is there is literally a resume thing that says send your resume out to each and everything that you come across because you have no idea who might not hire you, and you just prove them right. You just learn about the job and do it right after a while after you get hired. So what are the odds that those 2 female applicants are completely wrong for the job? I'm going to say probably 99.999% of the time. So this whole set aside stuff, this is how we need to make a policy to hire women. Title IX, we need to break up the stranglehold that the men's basketball team has over basketball at our school, and allow women to. There has never been a case made that has actually won that went out to prove that men were keeping women from doing anything and won. Not a case. The men are keeping women out of STEM field. If that's the case, then what has been proven is that the opposite is true. You go into the chemistry department and poof, bunch of women. Go into the biology department, poof, bunch of women. Men are not keeping women out of doing anything. So please, stop lying on us. We don't appreciate it. Our feelings are really hurt that you would even accuse us of such a thing. Women aren't interested. They don't want to. You can't force them to. Thank you all for watching. Please donate to the channel to help support the channel at paypal.me/Shakaama or cashapp.me/$Shakaama. Thank you.